Welcome back to the Rhonda Swan Show. Well, this is now season 4, the very first show of season 4. And I am so excited because this next series is all about falling in love with your impact. The guests that I'm going to be interviewing have completely fallen in love with their impact. Their lives shifted because of one thing that took place, and they became then experts in that field so they can not only help others, they can create a better life for them and their families, but they fall in love with their impact. Doesn't that sound juicy? Like something to dive so deeply in that now it becomes part of your life, and now you're leaving a legacy. So my guest today, you're going to absolutely love this woman. You actually may have met her once before. She's also an author of our Women Gone Wild book that's coming up and launching in April. She was just on our most recent Women Gone Wild Summit. Her name is Dana Kay. Now, Dana is a board-certified holistic health practitioner, and she's also the founder of Our Road to Thrive and the ADHD Thrive Method for Kids program. As a mother of a child with ADHD, Dana knows firsthand the struggles that come with parenting a neurodiverse child. But she also knows the freedom that is possible once parents learn to reduce ADHD symptoms. Dana has been featured in Forbes, Authority Magazine, Medium, Influencive, Thrive Global, so many other places. This woman is everywhere because her impact is so big. She's also been a guest on multiple parenting and ADHD summits and podcasts. Her mission is to help families reduce ADHD and to naturally, so that they and their children with ADHD can thrive at home, at school, and in life. Dana Kay, it is so amazing to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. Thank you so much. I'm super, super excited to be here again. And I always love catching up with you.
I know, me too. And I wanted to have you back because, you gave so much insights when we did the summit. And a lot of people were asking like, wow, I also have a family or a child with ADHD, and it does affect our lives. However, you've been able to really come on top of that so that you now not only have been able to create harmony in your family, but also within your family's daily life and your child's life. So would you mind tapping in a bit to your story, and then why did you then become an ADHD expert?
Yeah, look, when you live it, it consumes your life. And I have 2 boys of my own, and my oldest son was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 4. And we used to go through just challenges on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. If someone said to me, oh, how often does your son throw a tantrum? I'd be like, multiple times a day. Yeah. And when it happened, I just felt just so alone. I felt always angry, sad. I felt anxious. I just always was unhappy. And this is not what I predicted for my life. And I remember this one day, and this is sort of pivotal in that moment. And I love that your series is based on impact and how that one thing can change the course of your whole life, and the impact that then takes on to the future world. And this is just so exactly my story. I remember this one day when I was in a supermarket and my son had a meltdown right there in Costco. Okay, so just picture a broken pasta sauce jar all over the floor, and him sprawled on top of it. And it was just one of those moments in your life where I just wanted to crawl inside, and he had lost it, and people were looking at me, get your son under control. And I actually lost it at that point as well. And I couldn't control the tears coming out of my eyes, and in my mind I was like, it's okay, it happens to everyone. But then I did feel that overwhelming emotion come over me, and I lost it, and I burst out crying. And if I'm being totally honest, I was thinking, why me? Yeah. Why does my life have to be like this? And I was feeling depressed, and I felt like a terrible, terrible mum. And at that point, I decided no more. And when my pediatrician recommended a fourth medication to treat symptoms that were coming from the other three medications that he was already on,
Yep.
I was like, no, like I was done. And, we just couldn't continue on that path. And I really sort of decided at that point that I was going to figure out how I could help him in other ways. And it really did not matter how long it took me or what I had to do.
Figure it out. Well, I want to interrupt you here because this is a really touching story. And I know that, like, you thought, why me? But I think that how many statistically are there children around the world, would you say, or just in certain regions that also experience something similar?
Oh, look, I mean, honestly, there are 16 million families in the USA that are affected by ADHD.
Yeah.
And, that's in terms of children, there's about 6 million diagnosed with just in the USA alone.
Wow. Well, all right. So I was in pharmaceuticals for quite some time, for about 8 years. And the reason why I quit is because I started learning about these clinical trials and these same things that you said, these side effects that they're just covering and masking. And I know this is a sensitive topic. However, would you share your insights on, what was happening on these constant medications? They're just layering it, making things worse. And now you all of a sudden have no child that isn't even the child that you know because they're now numbed and you don't know them anymore at all.
1,000%. And, it is a sensitive topic and it's a very controversial one.
It is.
But so my son was 4 when he was diagnosed. And the first thing we were told was go to a specialist doctor. And the first thing he did was hand me that prescription medication. And it was a stimulant medication, which is an amphetamine. And I just trusted him. I trusted the experts. And he was given that. Look, at first, it was great. Like, honestly, there is a time and place for medication. Like, don't get me wrong. But what I am against is constantly increasing the dose or adding new medication to treat symptoms of other medications. And so he was put on it and he was actually really good. And I was like, wow, yes, we've done it. We know why this is happening and he's doing really, really well. But that didn't last long. And, all of a sudden he would have these mammoth meltdowns in the afternoon when he was coming down off this medication. This was a 4-year-old child.
And you're thinking he's on an amphetamine, right? Like,
yes.
How is this stuff okay? Right? It doesn't make sense to me, and I wish this is why we're talking about this, because families, they need to hear this from another mother that is saying, I experienced it. Don't just trust what you're told to do. Like, do the research, right?
Do your research, follow your instincts. And so, our doctor put him on another medication in the afternoon and then he couldn't sleep. So they put him on a sleep medication.
Oh, my goodness.
And then the anxiety started and wanted to put him on a fourth medication to treat the anxiety that was coming from the other medications. Yeah. And we got to this point where he was not eating. He was losing weight. When he was coming down off these medications, he was having the most terrible meltdowns. He wasn't able to sleep. And when he was given the medication, it was like he was a zombie. It was like his personality completely disappeared. And I trusted the experts. I followed what I was told. But at that point, when it just got too much, that's when I started that journey that got me where I am today. To my holistic health degree, multiple specific certifications in this particular area, like here with you, and sharing my methodology, not only with my clients, and the families that I work with, but really trying to get out there to change.
Wow.
Everyone says they want to change the world. I don't know if I, want to change the world, but I want to change what the first port of call is when a kid is diagnosed with ADHD. It should not be a prescription medication.
Okay, let's go into that, right? Because I want to know how you're helping these other families. Like, what are these protocols? Because this is stuff that I want to get out there, right? Someone that has done it, that's done the work, because I do know it can be challenging. There's so much going on and they're just trying to, get through their day. So mothers, families, let's listen here because Dana's going to talk about how she's helping families now and really what that protocol should be. Let's do it,
look,
sister.
I mean, when if I look back all the years gone by, where I set that goal to fight my son's ADHD symptoms naturally, rather than that medication, I set that goal because I found myself, my son, my family in a very, very dark place. And I knew I had to get out of that. And, the way we were going, I was so extremely scared that it would break my family apart. And this is how families are coming to me, because, I have actually ridden the roller coaster. I've been stuck in that cyclone. I've run many miles on the hamster wheels. There's all the analogies. But I have a clear understanding of areas that will trip up families, all the things that stop them from moving forward and cause them to stay stuck for so long. So, many of these families are in that place, exactly where I was. And I am there holding their hand, working them step by step to that place and leading them to the place where they can be more in control and restoring that calm. And the first thing that we do is we start with diet. And diet is literally the foundation of every single thing we do. And not only for ADHD. I've got families that go through my program and make dietary changes, and the parents are like, oh my gosh, I feel so much
sleep better, right? Like, it's true.
Exactly.
We do overlook those simple things. And this is why I love what you're saying, because this is the conversation that everyone needs to listen to. Like, go for the natural remedies. Stop trying to put sleeping pills in your mouth. Go and look at your diet. Like, right? These are all these kind of things that work. So let's go into then, like, what is that bigger mission that you've got? And now, like, what is your program about? Because I want people to really hear that. Like, what is this program about so they can find you, Dana? Because I know those 60 million families around the world want to have someone that has done it and that is in the trenches with them.
Totally. So as I said, diet is the foundation, but then we dive deep into really finding out what is going on in each individual body. The goal is to reduce inflammation in the body as much as possible to really allow healing to occur, because the gut-brain connection, and I'm not going to go into the technical side of it, the gut-brain connection is massive. And if your gut's broken down, you can't produce all of those happy, feel good neurotransmitters or hormones to feel good. So, that's all the technical side of things, but part of this is a plan, a step-by-step plan. 99% of the families I've worked with struggled before working with me because they just didn't know where to start. And it negatively affects their ability to help their child and family. So they need to know the why, they need to know the what, the when, the how, all of those deeper explanations of why these things matter, why it's important to reduce inflammation, as I was just saying, in their body, in their brain, in their gut, what foods are creating that inflammation, what other things are going on in the body that cause that emotional dysregulation and symptoms in there. So, we really focus on that step-by-step plan, but also it's about us providing the guidance, the strategies, and the support. 9 out of 10 families who come to us need that personalization in that support to get through all the stumbling blocks that are unique to their family. Things like, when implementing this approach, like picky eating. 70% of the families that we work with have picky eaters. Going to birthday parties as a child when you're making dietary changes. Halloween, oh my gosh, we just had Halloween, and my kids, they don't eat any of this stuff, but literally every house that they went to, it was really quite shocking. But another big thing is getting family buy-in. There are mother-in-laws and grandparents out there, and I won't just say mother-in-laws, father-in-laws as well, and even husbands or wives if the husband's doing it. It's really important to teach them why you're doing this and getting their buy-in. And families can attend coaching calls with us 5 times per week, every week.
So do you do group coaching? Are they one-on-one? Like, how does that process work? Because, I'm just thinking, like, wow, imagine just knowing you've got someone there, like if something's going on that you can ask. It's like almost like a forum, but you're giving live coaching calls. Wow.
Yeah. Look, we work in a combination of group program and one-to-one. So depending on which way each family needs to work with us, we do a combination of both. But 5 weekly group coaching calls every week, because we want success for our families, and we have a very, very, very high success rate. And this is the way that we can do it, because it is tough. It is tough doing this with children and families, and we've been there. We can do it. But not just the coaching side of things. It's all about the community. 100% of families I speak with agree that it is lonely, it's sad, it's isolating when you parent a child with challenges. Other people with normal kids just don't get it. And so we really provide that supportive community who really grow to be like family, and we connect parents together who are on this same mission. You know, when I decided to stop doing what wasn't working, I set an intention to help other families experiencing what I went through with my son. And I knew it was literally my mission to create a full service program that gave them everything they needed in one place to help their child, just like my son Oliver. And you know, it's really a program for struggling families created by someone who has been there and struggled with them. And I wanted to create that for other people.
Wow, it's so brilliant, Dana. I mean, I can just see just the lives that can be impacted. I mean, it does feel lonely. Even when you're a new mother, you're like, oh, I don't even know what to do, right? Just a new mother, let alone being a mother that is now experiencing something that they don't know how to handle, and it's their baby, and they want to help them the most. So just having that forum or that connection, I think is so vitally important. Where can people, if they want to learn more about the program, if they want to continue to follow you? I know you give so much free content out there. You're just constantly sharing. Where can people find you, and how can they really connect with you?
Yeah, so one of the biggest ways is I do host a free Facebook group. It's called the ADHD Anxiety Parent Support Group on Facebook. There's about 18,000 members in it, and I am in there like 2 to 3 times a week doing training, posting lots of different things, but helping and guiding families. And, you know, you feel part of this supportive community, even if you're not working with me. So that's probably the best place to find me. We have recently rebranded from Our Road to Thrive to the ADHD Thrive Institute. Right. So you can find us on our website, which is the ADHDThriveInstitute.com. But I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, doing YouTube videos and training. So I'm out there in a lot of different places.
I love it. I really appreciate that. We'll make sure that all of Dana's links and all of her websites get inside of the show notes, and that you also get to get access, because this is a real conversation that needs to continue to be happening. And the healthier and the more aware we can be, Dana, the better. Before I go, though, is there one last thing that you really want to share with everyone before we let you go?
Yeah, look, this has not got anything to do with me and my business. I think it's more of a personal thing. Yeah. I wasn't always this passionate about and educated about nutrition and ADHD and neurodevelopmental disorders. My background education previously was in business and accounting, and I spent 15 years in those industry, and it would have been a really easy path to continue working in that field. I was very successful and experienced in what I was doing, but what I will share is I am so pleased that I jumped ship. Yeah. I have ignited my passion and spirit, and I absolutely love helping other families on a daily basis. And honestly, I was just on the phone to someone, and she's like, we're organizing a holiday. And I'm like, oh, that's exciting. And she's like, my son is 7 years old, and I have never thought of being able to organize a holiday because I would never take the risk of taking him on a holiday. But what
you just gave me goosebumps. Oh,
yeah.
Right? I mean, just something so simple that we take for granted, right? Yeah. Oh, look, we can go on a holiday. We're doing this. Some people don't even imagine this being a possibility.
I know. And she didn't. And it's such a delight when you help families transform their lives. Yeah. And I literally get tears in my eyes every time I'm talking to families about their success. So I suppose it means what I'm trying to say is be inspired, be passionate, and love what you do.
Thank you, Dana, so much for who you are, what you do for families, for your family, for your heart. Thank you so much for showing up, and I'm so excited to have you as an author in this upcoming book. You know, we know this one just launched, and now the next book is in April. Dana's going to be in this book sharing all of her beautiful wisdom. So on behalf of myself and our whole community, Dana Kay, thank you so much. And imagine, everyone, imagine, you know, you might be one of those 60 million families right now that are wondering, how can we ever go on a holiday if we don't get our child their ADHD under control? Well, now you have some solutions and answers. And this is why we are bringing up in this next series is about those that have fallen in love with their impact. And it's because they've found it, they've done the work to help you get there. And this is what's so exciting. So thank you all for watching, for being here every single week on the Rhonda Swan Show. And don't forget, we are here for you to help you get your voice, get your story out there to the world. So you can check in with our team if you want to be on our show, or if you want us to help you tell your story. That's what we do best. So until we see you next time, have a great one, be unstoppable, and stay wild. See you on the next show.